We're back to discuss 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, and if you saw our review video, we both liked it. Didn't have much to say in the review because a lot of the details of the story are what I would consider spoilers. The first being that Woody Harrelson's character dies and then continues to play a pretty major role in the movie through these letters that he wrote to everyone before he kills himself. I thought that worked really well. It was an effective spur. I did not expect the Dixon character to have like a redemption arc in the movie. That was above and beyond what I expected to happen. And then when he found the supposed rapist and they had that like moment where you're like, oh, they're going to figure this out and solve this case. Like, again, it subverts your expectations. Like, no, they didn't. And then the movie ends with them kind of deciding to just go kill that guy anyway. And then at the last minute, it's like, maybe we won't. And they just leave it on a more ambiguous note. But I think that's important because if they hadn't left it on an ambiguous note, if it ended with them leaving to kill the guy in Idaho, I'd have been kind of disappointed in the movie. The message of the movie is, yeah, just go kill rapists. Just whether you can prove it or not or know what they did exactly, just go shoot. Just go shoot people if you suspect them.
I loved that after the movie, or after Woody Harrelson killed himself, everything he wrote in the letters starts coming true. Like how Dixon fights that guy in the bar. He's like, maybe they'll find the rapist when some idiot gets into a bar fight.
Yeah.
I was like, are you kidding me? They're going to reveal Woody Harrelson some sort of prophet. And then it turns out to not be the case. But it was so well done. The only thing that that I didn't quite understand is they introduce this random guy who has no name right at the end of the movie. Well, towards the end of the movie. And he's just a jerk for absolutely no reason. And you never get a sense as to why. And he ends up being the suspect, or at least who they think is the suspect. But he just comes out of nowhere and you're like, who is this guy? And then he disappears for another 25 minutes. And you feel like that scene is completely disconnected from everything else. The scene where he confronts her in the gift shop?
Yeah, that's to set him up as a strong suspect for the rape.
Yeah.
Later.
It's like a 25-minute gap, and you're just like, that scene felt really weird.
I think it would have felt weirder if they were all together at the end. If he came in and like was mouthing off to her, and then he just like went and sat next to Sam Rockwell and was like, yeah, so I set some girl on fire. Like, I think that would have been even weirder.
I guess.
It was just more of a thing where, like, there aren't any suspects in this movie and we need somebody to suspect of it. I don't know. I thought Woody Harrelson's always funny when you put him in a situation where he's just, like, befuddled by what's going on. Just like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? There were a couple of moments that Frances McDormand really outshone even better than she normally does. There was this one moment where the camera lingers on her right after Ethan Hawke, like, throws her up against the wall. That scene where he, like, flips out and throws her up against the wall.
I believe that's not Ethan Hawke. I'm not sure who it is.
Oh, not Ethan Hawke. John Hawkes. That's who it is. John Hawkes throws her up against the wall. He's her abusive ex-husband. And the camera lingers on her like an extra second, and you see her, like, processing, like, rage, fear. Like, you see her, like, go through, like, all of that before she can stop and talk again. And the other part I really liked was when she's like, I have to tell you something. I'm the one that burned down the police station. Like, who else was it going to be?
The scene with her out by the billboard when the deer shows up. That was a really well done scene.
Mm-hmm.
It gives her it gives her an opportunity to kind of do an aside to the audience, and she kills it.
Yeah.
Like, her facial features are second to none. She just did an amazing job.
There's also a good twist of the movie makes you think that it was Dixon that set the billboards on fire.
Mm-hmm.
And then it turns out that it was John Hawkes, not Ethan Hawke, who did it.
I'm sure Ethan Hawke's an arsonist
Ethan Hawke
too.
was not in this movie, but I'm sure he burned something somewhere.
That's right.
So,
But there was a lot of emotion in this movie, and there was this dark storyline, but it still managed to be equal parts funny and equal parts moving. It was just so well done.
mm-hmm. The daughter, who's in one scene in a flashback, was a great scene, and that was, I don't know the actress's name, but she plays one of the girls on *Halt and Catch Fire*, one of the daughters of the couple that have kids. So
It's so hard to pin down my favorite scene in this movie. There were just so many good ones. From the scene with the priest to
that guy's really funny too.
every
The guy
scene,
from Justified.
Yeah, every scene the 19-year-old is in,
Yes.
which she does get a name towards the end.
Yeah.
But
Well, they give Peter Dinklage the line of Penelope said begets.
yeah. Every scene she was in was just comedy gold.
Yes.
And it always happened in the most random places, like John Hawke's violent outburst in the house, and then all of a sudden here she comes with this just killer comedy bit.
Yeah.
And they're still clearly in the throes of their anger, and it just sits there, and everybody's feeling uncomfortable. It kind of makes the audience feel uncomfortable, and then it breaks. It was great.
Yeah.
I love this movie.
Yep.
It was good.
Well, that's our discussion. If you like the way we do these, please like the video, subscribe, check out all the written video reviews at dalemaxfield.com, and thanks for watching.